One of the most intense realities that we need to talk about regarding God's judgment and death is this truth that without trusting in Jesus, humans die eternally. Without trusting in Jesus, humans die eternally. So, Van, please read Romans 2:5.
Because of your hardened and unrepentant heart, you are storing up wrath for yourself in the day of wrath when God's righteous judgment is revealed.
This is the ultimate judgment of God, and it is described in various places as a death. A death that is ongoing, a death that is eternal, a death that is conscious. And it's an extension of these other deaths. We die physically, and if we are in a state in which we are not in a right relationship with God the Father through Jesus Christ, if we're dead in our sin, and then if we die in that state, we will live forever, figuratively speaking, a life of death. And that is hell itself, in eternity, separated from God the Father and His Son, Jesus Christ. So, Van, what role did the concept of hell play in your own conversion to become a Christian? And or what role does it play in your life now that you have become a Christian?
Well, at the moment I became a Christian, I was very much aware of the reality of hell. I mean, before I was a Christian, hell was kind of like this realm where partiers went, and I don't know if that was what we told each other, told myself to make us feel better about the way we were living, and the reality of knowing that we weren't necessarily living according to God's standards. But as I became a Christian, it absolutely played a big part in my wanting to pursue the joys of heaven and avoid the pain of eternal hell according to what God's Word says.
And Vin, I think that that's very balanced. When we think about the motivations for turning from sin and turning to God, I think it's both. I think we want to escape judgment, but we don't want to just merely escape judgment and move to some other set of realities. We want to turn ultimately to God Himself, the joy that He offers, the joy that is found in Himself, and the joy that He will offer to us forever in heaven. I believe in my conversion, Van, that the thought of hell was very important. I didn't want that, obviously, and I wanted to live forever, and so I repented and I trusted in Jesus. But I also think that this concept of hell, the reality of hell, is something that we as Christians need to grapple with. And if we truly believed in the existence of hell, I believe that we would be much more focused, living on mission, telling people about Jesus, telling people that they need to turn from their sin and trust in Him so that they can spend eternity with God. I believe that that in and of itself is one of the most loving things that we can possibly do. Because if you see someone in need, not just physically, but ultimately if you see them in need spiritually, and you don't tell them the path to life, I don't see how we can consider ourselves men and women of love.